I'm Chris Oppenheim. People call me Church. I'm the owner of Interstate Inc. in Los Angeles, California. We cater almost exclusively to recovering addicts, and we have a program in place to help artists with addiction issues get their lives and careers back on track. We're trying to raise awareness, educate others, and reduce the negative stigmas associated with addiction. We want everyone to know there is hope, we do recover, and most importantly, even broken crayons still color. Hi, welcome to today's episode of the Broken Crayons Podcast here at Interstate Inc. My guest for today is a huge star. I mean that quite literally.
Yeah.
He's made his way all the way to the big screen. Sometimes we wonder how he fit on there. Ladies and gentlemen, Zackass, the newest member of the Jackass crew. What's up, dude?
What's up, dude? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Yeah.
Just asking how you got involved with, Jackass and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I've been making viral videos ever since I was a kid, and eventually, so I started making. I don't know, long story or short story on this. Okay. I've been making viral videos ever since I was a kid, pretty much. And then I stopped making viral videos for like a very long time, for like 3 or 4 years, and was just like working at Walmart and shit.
Why'd you stop?
Like all the people I was filming with, they decide we all just went separate ways, pretty much, you know. And I actually like started doing like a lot of drugs at the time. So I was just like, I'm not like I feel like some people just didn't even want to like be around me, you know? and you know, I get it, you know, it's whatever. So I started working like a normal job and like stopped really making videos and doing things that I love. And then like eventually I went to jail for weed in Indiana for a month. And I was like, I don't want to
which is legal now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, super illegal in Indiana. But yeah, I went to jail for a month in Indiana, and then I was just like, I don't want to work a normal job again, and I want to do things that I love. Like when I got out of jail. And also it was just hard to get a job because I just got out of jail. Yeah, I started doing like the craziest like stunt videos I could think of, and like a lot of my stuff went super viral at the time. And like the first thing I did was I like put the skateboard on the spine ramp, and I ran and like jumped on it, and I nut shot it on the spine ramp. And then like the next like really big thing was I put this vest of fire. I watched
that last night, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
And the next thing I did was I took this like these rolls of firecrackers and made like a firecracker vest out of it.
The suicide.
Yeah, and taped it to myself and lit it. And I got like second and third degree burns all over my body. Fucking sucked. And then I get the attention of Steve-O, and he wants to make some videos with me. And I was like, sure, let's do this. I go out, he flies me out to LA, and he's like, I want you to go into this cactus patch. And I thought, well, he said, I want you to go into this cactus. And I thought like it was just like a little cactus or something. And I get there and it's like a giant cactus patch. And so, next thing I know, I'm skateboarding into all these cacti, and we're filming that. That went super fucking viral. And then I ended up getting an MTV show for a little bit. Did that. Didn't really work out. And Jeff Tremaine in Knoxville and everyone had like known of me, and they'd seen my videos online. They'd seen some of the TV stuff that I've done, and they were about to make a new movie, so they ended up hitting me up to see if I wanted to be involved. Yeah.
And that was it, huh?
Yeah. I got like a random DM from some weird account on Instagram, and I was like, who the fuck is this? Like, they were like, yeah, we're making a Jackass 20th anniversary special. And I thought it was like a prank, And next thing I respond to it anyways, though, because I'm like, what if it's not, Because like this is like my dream is to work with all these guys. Like I'd worked with Steve-O before this point, but I hadn't worked with all the other guys, and I felt like at the time that they like didn't fuck with me, you know, because I felt like everyone thought I was just like a wannabe like Jackass person, you know. Because that's essentially sort of what I was though, because I've always wanted to be like them.
You were doing it well.
Yeah. And so next thing I respond to this DM, and next thing I know, I'm in a meeting with Knoxville and Tremaine, and they're like, "Yeah, we're making this Jackass 20th anniversary special thing. We want you to be involved because you have like the same spirit that we do." And then like they're like having me pitch all these different ideas to them and things that I would do and things that I want to do, and I was like, "Yeah, like I pitched them like tons of fucking ideas." And then then I had like 2 other meetings with them. In the 3rd meeting, they finally told me it was for the movie. It wasn't just like a documentary thing they were making. They like just didn't. I don't think they wanted me to know yet. And they just.
Did you even know there was another movie coming out?
I heard through the grapevine through some other people that I was working with that that's essentially what it was going to be, but they hadn't told me that yet. So I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, are we doing a movie? Or are they just doing a documentary or what, you know? But I was so excited to be a part of whatever it was anyways.
Didn't even matter.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we ended up doing we had to do like a test shoot with all because they had some other people they wanted to be involved, like other new people. And they wanted to pretty much see what it would be like to have these new people with the OG cast and how that would be.
The chemistry.
Yeah, they wanted to see the chemistry and just make sure it like worked out well and like show that to Paramount to get it like fully greenlit into being a movie.
Very cool. So we could obviously talk about Jackass all day.
Yeah.
But this particular podcast is about recovery.
Yeah.
How old were you when the drug use started? Stuff like that? What led you ultimately to get clean?
So when I was a kid, I had a lot of anxiety. I had like a lot of anxiety issues and like I guess just like panic attacks, you know, is what they ended up calling them. And that stuff like really fucked with me from a young age to the point where like they wanted me to be like I needed to be medicated at a young age, or like I don't know if I needed to, but like that was the only way they could deal with it, you know. Because I was like being insane, like I was freaking the fuck out all the time. And it's like it was like interfering with my schools, interfering with just me having a normal life, you know, and it was sort of fucked. So I started like they gave me like medicine. Like I was on Xanax at like a very young age, and I was using it at that time as like prescribed, you know, but like anytime
when they put you on Xanax,
like 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like well, I think 9 actually.
They'll just give fucking drugs out like water, dude.
Yeah, and like at the time, like it's like when they gave that stuff to me, like it was like, oh, now I feel normal. Like that's how I felt.
I get it.
I didn't feel like fuck. I didn't like fuck me up. It made me feel normal, and I really liked that feeling and I was younger and shit. And then my mom passed away like shortly after that, like when I was 10, and that and then they just gave me more Xanax pretty much because I was like super depressed too.
Oh yeah, just up the script.
Yeah. So then I was taking Xanax for a long time, and I didn't really do any other drugs though. I was just taking it as prescribed, but you know it's still like I still knew that I liked that feeling a lot. I wasn't really doing it. I didn't even have control of my prescription. Like my grandma would give it to me and stuff like that, or like whoever it was at the time. But yeah, like later on though, like I started like getting interested in like, oh, like what's this weed stuff all about, you know? Because like I had watched all these like stoner movies and weed just seemed cool. And I hung around with a lot of skater kids, like the people that I would make videos with and shit. And a lot of them like smoked weed and stuff. And I was like, what is that all about? It just seemed fun. And it was like interesting to me that like you could like feel a different way, you know?
Yeah.
So like
exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so I didn't smoke weed till I was 18. Because I sort of lived like a super like sheltered life. Like I was like my family was very religious.
From Indiana.
Yeah, from Indiana. Very religious. Like I was super Christian as a kid, and just going up into until I was 18. And I feel like that made me like be like sort of even crazier, just like not being able to do stuff, Because then like when I turned 18, I was like, oh, I'm allowed to watch rated R movies now. I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed to smoke cigarettes. I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed to do that. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna try everything. And yeah, so I ended up smoking weed, and I had like a horrible experience with it at first.
Really?
Yeah, it was so, dude. When you smoke weed like the first few times, sometimes you don't even really get high, and then eventually when you get high, like the first I smoked weed like twice, but it really didn't get fucking stoned. But then eventually, the third time, I got so fucking stoned. It was insane. But it gave me a panic attack. So I didn't know what to fucking do. So I ended up just taking a Xanax or whatever. And that felt amazing. And then I was like, oh, if I take a Xanax, I can smoke as much weed as I want. And then get super fucked up. So I started doing that. And then occasionally it led to me, I found a prescription, an old prescription of Vicodin or something one day. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try these, see what that's all about. And I
enter opiates.
Yeah, then enters opiates into the chat. And I loved opiates. Opiates were dope. Literally.
Sound like an advertisement.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that shit. It was such a cool feeling. Then after that, it sort of turned into that's sort of all I cared about was getting high. And, started hanging out with lower companion people a lot. Just wanted to get high all the time and didn't really care about making videos anymore or doing any of that kind of stuff. I just wanted to get high and and do that.
Yeah, it totally takes you away from everything that you know and love.
Yeah, 100%. And then it was just my thing was mainly prescriptions, Xanax and painkillers and stuff like that. And then eventually Coke made it into the mix.
Hey, sure.
Yeah, and then I tried heroin twice and didn't really like it. Thank God.
Right. You'd have probably fell in love with it if you just stuck it out.
Yeah. I only tried it twice, and I think that one thing that made me not like it was because the first time I did it, I speedballed, and
same. You know that?
Yeah.
Not for real.
Yeah.
When I graduated to the fucking needle, it was the same thing. It was a local pusher, and he was just we're gonna do it this way. Give this a try.
Yeah, because I really liked Coke, but I was really influenced by movies and stuff too. I would oh, let's get some Coke and watch Blow or do this and and it's dude, this is so fucking dumb. But doing some Coke off of the Blow DVD case, But one day I was doing Coke, and then a friend was oh, what are you he noticed that I was fucked up on Coke, and he was what do you have? And he's let's go. And I was oh, nothing. And he's well, come over to my house with me really quick. And then he was well, he's put down on the table what you have, and I'll put down what I have. And I'm okay. I thought he had Coke or something. And he pours out a bunch of heroin onto the table. And I pour out my Coke, and then he's let's just mix it together and snort a couple lines of it. And, we both did these two fat lines, speedballing. And it was amazing. It was a great feeling, but it was followed by for some reason when I was all fucked up, I ate a whole pack of hot dogs. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it was just the inner
addiction?
oh yeah, I have a gnarly food addiction, unhealthy relationship with food as well. And I ended up eating this whole pack of hot dogs, and I woke up the next morning choking on my own puke, and
Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
dude, it was so fucked, man. It was just because of the heroin, really, mainly. But yeah. So I woke up, almost died from that, And then I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do heroin ever again. But I kept doing everything else. Like, yeah.
So what, I guess what made you get clean, man?
Oh, sorry. I keep telling, like, all the gnarly shit.
No, you're good.
But, yeah, so I sort of, like, just was, like, only doing, like, I wasn't, like, getting, like, super fucked all the time, but I was still getting fucked up, and, like, what ended up happening was, after I met Steve-O, he was like, yeah, like, we had such a fun time and everything, but I ended up, like, revealing to him that I had a problem, I was doing a lot of drugs all the time, and, yeah, I was doing a lot of drugs all the time, and he was like, yeah, dude, you should, like, try this 12-step stuff.
Yeah, because he was clean at the time, right?
Yeah, he had been sober for like 9 or 10 years at the time, and I was like, yeah, dude, like, okay, wait, actually, let me take this back. So, he originally was like trying to get, like, Steve-O wanted to help me, like, get healthy, and he was like helping me, like, try to lose weight and stuff, which obviously, like, I didn't do that, because yeah, I'm pretty fat right now. But anyways, not the healthiest right now. But I am losing weight right now. But we'll get to that later. But so Steve-O was trying to help me with that and like deal with some different food addiction stuff I had. And then in the process of doing that, I was living in the sober living thing and first time ever in sober living at this point that
out here?
It was in San Diego that he owned, and he was having me live there while I was like trying to get healthy. And then I had the drug test to live there, and then they found out, oh, you're also a drug addict, And then I had to stop doing all that too. And then I revealed to them, all that stuff, and then we're like, oh, like, so I'm a gnarly drug addict, and I have like gnarly, like gnarly food addiction too. So, we're trying to work on all that stuff, but I really didn't want to do that. I was just sort of doing it because, like, he wanted me to. But the thing is, I needed that initial introduction to all that stuff, because, like, if I wouldn't have had that then, I wouldn't be sober today.
Your introduction to recovery was Steve-O.
Yeah, it was through Steve-O.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah. And then, like, the thing was, like, he was doing all this stuff to help me, and I didn't really, like, I don't know, I sort of, like, just sort of took it for granted, like, wasn't really, like, fucking with it at the time.
Your idol saved your life.
And I just wanted to, like, fucking do my own thing. Then we sort of had, like, a falling out because of that. And I ended up going back to Indiana, and then I ended up doing, like, this MTV show for a little bit. But the thing was, like, I was so gnarly. I was, like, such a gnarly drug addict that by the time I had broken my leg actually too, so I had just broken my leg, and then
skateboarding stunt.
Yeah, the skateboarding. I had just broken my leg, and Steve-O was like, "If you want to stay out here, you can stay out here." And I was like, "No, I'd rather go home." And like we had this falling out and all this stuff. And then I went home and just did tons of drugs, and then tried to film a TV show, and that didn't fucking work out because I was fucked up all the time. I mean, like the show was good, like. The show, it was, like, I didn't ruin the show, but, like, it could have been better if I wasn't fucked up, I could have been more present and, like, actually, like, been there for myself and my friends when I was making that show, that sort of sucked. But, but anyway, so that show comes out, I mean, all that stuff happens, and then I'm like living in a sober living, like after all that stuff for like a long time, like on and off, like using, and then I would have to go back to the sober living, and then I would leave and go back and blah blah blah, like on and off for like years, and then finally, like, it's almost 2 years now, like almost like on the 10th of March it'll be 2 years.
2 years clean?
Yeah, 2 years clean. Yeah.
For you, dude. Yeah, man, that's pretty fucking...
Yeah, sorry, my story's, like, all over the place. I always forget, like, different things, too.
I'm blown away that, Steve-O's the one that turned you on to, like, the 12 steps and...
Yeah,
it's awesome because, like, you know, like you said, you really looked up to those guys, and that's a hell of an introduction, dude.
Yeah, like, and if I wouldn't have been introduced to it like that, like, even though he was like pushing it upon me and I didn't really want to do it at the time, like, I needed that, otherwise I wouldn't even like know and, you know, what to do when I was like, when I hit a bottom and like later on, you know, by myself, I wouldn't have even known what to do, you know, when that happened. So I'm so happy that he gave me that introduction, and then eventually I made an amends with him, and now we're like good friends, dude.
That's awesome. Well, you said you hit a bottom. What was the bottom?
It was just like, it wasn't even really like a crazy bottom. I was just like, I was just getting so fucked up, and I was living in like my friend, like I was living in like a friend's apartment, and I was like, dude, I just don't want to do this anymore. Like one day I was like I was gonna go buy some pills or something from someone, and I had to go to the ATM, but it was like the most agonizing walk to the ATM I've ever had in my life, dude. Like, it felt like my feet were just bricks, you know? And like, it took forever to get there. And I was like, dude, I just can't do this anymore, dude. I don't want to fucking do this shit anymore. I'm going fucking nowhere.
So what did you do? Did you reach out to Steve-O again?
No, I reached out to my homie Vinny, actually. And I was like, let's just hang out, or like,
show?
Yeah. I was like, let's go to a meeting or something. And then like, you know, I feel like I ended up like just crying to him about like whatever. I was like, you know, and then he's like, I'll help you. And then like, he like got me into like a treatment scenario. And then from there it just clicked.
So I had a question for you. I was watching some of your videos and shit, you know.
Yeah.
A lot recently, because I knew you were going to be doing this. And, I had a question about like all the injuries, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about pain meds in recovery?
I mean, like the thing is, like, if you don't, like, I don't know, I feel like people are gonna hate me for saying this, but like, or they're gonna be like, you know, that's not sober or whatever. But like, if you get hurt, like, so when I broke my leg, like I was sober when I broke my leg, like I was in a sober living and everything, and when you have like a traumatic injury, you know, when you have like a traumatic injury and they give you like painkillers or something, you actually like there's a point where your body actually needs that, because you're gonna like freak the fuck out if you don't. Yeah. Like, you know, like, and it didn't get me high. It literally just made me not feel like I was dying, you know. And I feel like there's certain scenarios where like it's okay, you know. But like I think like, where it's like, oh, like, we're going to give you, like, extra painkillers to take home with you, you know? So in case you are in pain, like, then it's like, no, don't do that. But, like, while you're in the hospital and stuff and you're not in control of it, that's fine, you know? But, like, I think, like, after that, though, it's like, okay, you know, no more of that. No more of the freebies, you know?
It's really funny that Michael walked in, because he was the example that I was going to use. He broke his back.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's like so fucked, dude.
The crazy part is, I was talking to him about it this morning, and he actually tried to avoid painkillers. Like, you know, you picked up by a helicopter, and he was still refusing the shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. But then, you know, they made it abundantly clear that he absolutely needed it. And, you know,
that's sort of how it is sometimes. Like when I broke my leg, was literally in half, like folded in half, you know.
I saw it.
And they're like, we're gonna give you morphine right now, and I was like, hold on. Like I tried to call my sponsor, and like my sponsor didn't pick up, so I'm like, guess it's a sign to do it. Like I tried to call him 3 times, didn't come through. So I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. And then like, but it didn't like get me fucked up.
So you didn't take this shit home.
Yeah.
Trying to prescribe it and shit.
Yeah. Like I wasn't like fucking taking it home with me and like, because then it's like obsession's gonna kick in and ultimately like even like doing the little bit while I was in the hospital like fucked with me a lot, you know? Because like when I got afterwards, I was like, I want to do this now. But like for you to do that kind of stuff in recovery, you have to have like a strong like foundation and have like good friends around you. Otherwise you will like fall back into, you know. old
People
habits,
tell
definitely.
me, like, even if you do have to take something prescribed,
Yeah.
you know, I've heard, I've never been in that situation yet, you know.
Yeah, no, like most like for the most part, just try not to get in that situation. But sometimes that does happen, you know, and like I don't think it's like it's not the end of the world if you have to take something while you're in the hospital or some shit.
I've heard of people you know, helping, you know, like having their sponsor help with, you know, dispensing the pills.
Yeah, I've heard of that too, and that's chill, you know. It's like I think everyone's different, you know. It's like if it doesn't like really fuck with you, then you know go with it. But like as long as you're not actually like getting fucked up, you know, you're good. But yeah,
you obviously just mentioned having a sponsor, so like, you work the steps.
yeah, I need to like actually sponsor people. I haven't done that, and I can. I'm just being a little fucking.
Did all 12?
Yeah, I've done all 12. I still have like a few, like I have like a couple of amends that I've tried to make and haven't been able to make them yet. But I mean, other than that, like I've done all, you know, I've done all the steps. I'm still like I still have a few amends actively trying to work on that. But other than that, you know, I'm doing them again for the second time now, actually.
Nice.
So yeah.
You're staying on top of it.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I mean, I could be working a better program, though. I'm not going to enough meetings, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
but
at least
like,
you recognize it. You
yeah.
know?
No, half the time I'll be talking to Vinny, like, yeah, we should go to more meetings, and we're both like, yep, we should. And then like,
I talked to him about it too. You know, you guys could come to the ones that my wife and I actually
Yeah.
held one on Thursday nights.
yeah, we were talking about that. We want to do that.
Yeah, you should definitely.
It's like we don't know a lot on this side of town. We've lived over here for almost a year. We still don't know the fucking idiots, dude.
Well, maybe doing this little episode for me, kind of kick you in the ass with that one.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Definitely.
Nah, but you should. You know, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, that would be great.
But so having worked the steps, dude. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Get to the bottom of it. Why? The ultimate question, why the fuck do we do this to ourselves?
Have I gotten to the bottom of it? Like, why? Like, I don't, dude, it's, it's such like I don't know, man. It's just like, like, ultimately, I feel like it's just like, I don't even know, dude. Such a good question. Like, there's like so many things where it's like, you know, why do I like do the things that I do? And it's like,
for example, one of the things that I learned, you know, was like, I noticed rather, was I was able to trace it back all the way to like childhood.
yeah,
And it's the shit that took place then. And then that's when the behaviors started, whether the drug use did or not. And it just kept, the behaviors would create consequences, and it would just roll into the next behavior that created more consequences. And, you know, by the time it's all said and done, I don't know what, you know, the original fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? The original stimuli. The original fucking incident that kicked that behavior in the ass and really, you know, kicked it into full gear was long forgotten about. I was running from the new shit that I created.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sound about right.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like like for me, it's just like there's like so many different things, but like one of them is just like, dude, like I just like I really need to like fucking learn to love myself, dude. Like I feel like a lot of the times like I was just like wanting to be loved, but like I couldn't even like love myself, you know?
Yeah.
And that was like one of the biggest things for me.
I still think it's badass that Steve-O is the one that got you into the 12 step program.
Yeah.
So what's up, man? We're doing a portrait of fucking...
Yeah, we're doing a portrait of Chris Farley, man. That's like awesome. I relate to him a lot, man. Like just in so many different ways. Like his addiction and like his addiction story like is very similar to mine. I relate to him like really well, like with that, along with his like his relationship with food as well. Like we like so much alike that it's scary actually.
Yeah. Like when you told me, actually, Benny told me that you wanted Chris Farley. I was like, that makes perfect fucking sense.
Yeah.
You know? It's pretty awesome. How old are you?
I'm 30.
30. Yeah, I vaguely remember 30. Actually, 30 is how old I was when I fell off the wagon after 4 years.
Yeah.
Do you find it difficult to stay clean in the line of work you're in?
I mean, it's all about like the
entertainment in general, you know.
Yeah, I don't really think it's like too hard to stay clean in the line of work that I'm in, because I mean it's definitely for some people I could see it being really really difficult, but like working in entertainment, like with stunts specifically, like yeah you get hurt, but now it's like I don't get fucked up afterwards. Now I'm just like I'll go to a meeting, or like I just take some ibuprofen and go to a meeting. You know, it's like that's just how it has to be now. You know, or you know I don't go out and party with everyone. You know, so it's I mean sometimes it's a little like sometimes it's like oh like I never really wish that I could like get fucked up with everyone, but I mean like sometimes I think about it, but I'm not like I don't really regret it because like or like I don't really feel like I'm missing out too much, because at the end of the day like I'm not waking up like being like oh wish I didn't do that last night, or I wish I didn't feel like shit this morning, you know.
We were talking about that earlier. So
yeah,
I actually remember doing things now.
Yeah. Like, I can remember what I'm doing and, like, remember filming a whole fucking show, or remember, like, filming everything in this that I've done in this movie, you know? Like, it's like if I was getting fucked up, I wouldn't remember any fucking thing that I did at all. Like, I literally wouldn't.
I still don't understand how you got into, you know, entertainment in general coming from Indiana. Like,
yeah,
did you move out here for that? Or?
I did move out here because of that, but like initially I was brought out here because like I almost died filming another show, and it was like I almost died because I was doing too many drugs. Like it was just like I came out here for rehab initially, and then I was gonna come out here regardless though, because I wanted to live out here for work reasons, but my fucking problems brought me out here first, so but you know it worked out, you know.
Yeah, roundabout sort of way.
Yeah, it worked out.
You know, little unorthodox.
Yeah, not really the way I wanted to come out. I wanted to come out here like with a suitcase full of drugs, so I'm happy that didn't happen, because I would probably get arrested.
Fear and loathing, huh?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do really bad, but it did not happen. And not really such a dumb idea. Like,
yeah, I'm jumping around a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Sorry. I feel like I'm doing fucking horrible.
You know, back to the, you know, the line of work you're in.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty important question to me, because tattooing lends itself to, you know, a lot of drug use. And like, I was going to actually quit doing this to get clean, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I've always, like, sometimes I like, is it like gonna be? I guess I don't think it's not like I don't think it's like like I'm not. I don't want to get hurt. Honestly, like with all the stunt stuff, it's like a little worrisome, because like eventually you are gonna get hurt. You know, that's the only shitty thing with it. So it's like I'm gonna have to like go through like healing and all that stuff. So that really does suck, you know, like, and being sober. But like I lucked out like through this movie and everything. Like I didn't get too hurt, but there were definitely some days where I was like, "Yep, painkiller would be nice," you know, or this would be nice. But like, you know, I didn't do that, you know, obviously. But yeah,
being in recovery, you're able to take a look at the big picture and play the tape out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is gonna end horribly if I act on this, you know, on these thoughts, and at least that's where I'm at with it. It's like,
yeah, because it's like even if I
don't go away completely, like,
yeah,
you know, but
playing the tape is something that really has helped me a lot, because it's like, yeah, if I do this one thing, then I'm gonna have to do this. It's like oh, I smoke.
How well did it work the last fucking time I made this stupid decision?
It's like as simple as like weed too. It's like, okay, like, oh, like, why don't you want to smoke with me? Well, it's like, yeah, because if I smoke weed, I'm gonna have a panic attack probably. Then I'm gonna have to take a Xanax, and then that Xanax is gonna make me feel great, and I'm gonna want to take a painkiller, and then I'm gonna end up doing coke. And then, like, you know, it's just like one thing's connected to the other, you know?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't happen right away, eventually it will. Like, you know, fuck all that shit. Like, I'm done with that, dude. Like, you know.
Yeah. And I think, Christ, I tried it in the past, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I can just do this, or I can just do that.
Yeah.
I definitely learned the hard way that I can't do any of it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man. It's rough. It is. But I think it's awesome that you're involved with so many, people in your industry who are also in recovery.
Yeah, and I meet new people that are in recovery. They work in entertainment all the time too, so it's really cool. And the other thing is, like, with the stunt stuff, like, I don't really think I'm gonna do stunts forever. It's not really like something you can keep doing. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you
can't
can't.
Ask you about that. Like, how many years can you hurt yourself before?
That's the thing. Like,
well, isn't that
Steve-O's,
technically why you're in Jackass now? Because these guys are too fucking old to do this shit to
that is true. Like, and yeah, like, Steve-O's done stunts for a very long time, so that's great. But like, I don't want to do stunts forever. Like, I want to do other things. Like, I'm branching out into other, like, types of entertainment as well.
What do you got going on?
Like, I'm starting to, like, I want to do, like, more acting, and, like, I've been doing a lot of sketches and stuff, like skits and different things.
Comedy sketches?
Yeah, like comedy stuff. And I'm branching out, and speaking of comedy, I'm branching out into stand-up. I just started doing stand-up recently.
How did that go?
Dude, it went so good. It went really well. I'm so happy about it. Like,
Vinny was telling me.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
Yeah, the first night I did a set at the Comedy Store, and I fucking killed it. So then they asked me to come back, and then that night I sort of bombed the second night, and then yeah, it wasn't like, I mean, it wasn't a complete bomb, but it was enough that it was like a lot different than the night that I killed it,
like, fuck.
Yeah. But I knew that was gonna happen eventually. People bomb all the time, but I sort of know what I did wrong, and like, it's always like, you just gotta get up, keep going, I just keep rolling with the punches with it. But then I did another night. I've only done stand-up 3 times so far. Killed it twice and bombed once, so not bad.
Yeah, I'd like to check you out. I would definitely show up, man.
Yeah, I got a lot of dates coming up too, so I'll definitely,
really?
I'll let you know. I'll give you like a little schedule.
Yeah, I would definitely come out and support you and, laugh with you.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, this thing's really coming together.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this turns out. But back to Chris Farley though.
Oh,
so dude, I really relate to his struggles with his addiction struggles, just with food and drugs. It's just like sort of scary, like how similar our stories are with that in that regard. And like also just like it's just gnarly, dude. Like I fucking love Chris Farley. He's like he's such a huge influence on me when I first when I was a kid, just like watching his movies and everything. Like, I want to do that. I want to be that. Like, I want to make people laugh like that.
Favorite one? Chris Farley movie.
Tommy Boy is probably my favorite. Then there's Black Sheep. I mean, I love everything that he has done. Even like his little roles in like Adam Sandler movies when he would play like a one-off little character. Like when he was the bus driver in Billy Madison, he stole the fucking show. Like, he stole the show on that. Like he was so fucking funny in those scenes. Or like there's like other movies where he does little roles like that too. But like he's always so fucking funny. And then on Saturday Night Live, he was amazing. Like,
I was gonna say, I'm a little older than you, so I definitely remember.
Yeah. His SNL stuff was great.
Oh, that shit.
And like when his SNL
down by the river.
Yeah. Yeah, he was fucking great. And he's like such a good physical comedian too, because he's always falling and like throwing himself around and shit. And I really relate to that because that's sort of what I do, Like,
dude, I'm telling you, when he told me he wanted to get a portrait of Chris Farley, I straight up, I was like, that's fucking perfect,
Yeah.
Perfect for you. I'm stoked to do it too, because, I get paid to do my hobby, so it's a fucking pretty awesome way of living. How's that feel?
Great.
You want to punch me in the face yet? I get that a lot. It's funny because I have, friends for years, and they're like, I love you to death, but every time I'm around you, I'm in pain.
Yeah, I am. Like, I love tattoos, and then at the same time, I hate them.
Yeah. You can't tell by looking at me, but I'm not a fan of getting tattooed either.
Yeah, not a fan.
Right on, man. Well, I hope you fucking stick with it all, you know? You seem like a really cool-ass dude, and I think you got a lot of fucking really cool shit ahead of you.
Thanks, man.
So maybe come out to the meetings.
I'm so down for that.
I'm pulling your card again, dude.
I'm definitely down. Let's do it.
It's tricky, man, because life happens. We have to make time for this shit.
Yeah.
I at one point went quite a while without attending one, and I think it's cool that we have the commitment, my wife and I, because regardless of how the rest of the week turns out, I'm always going to be there on Thursday.
Yeah.
When you do, let's say, bomb on stage, do you there's feelings of embarrassment, and it's something you used to run from, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
How do you handle it now?
Well, now, I just write it into another joke. No. But
what'd you say?
I just write it into another joke. No. No, I just deflect with comedy. No. But no, it just now I talk to people about that shit instead of just holding it in and trying to get fucked up over it. It's like the best thing to do is just talk about shit.
Right, and sometimes all it takes is that reassurance from somebody else.
Yeah.
Not as big a deal as we make it out to be. I think that was a huge fucking epiphany, if I could call it that, when I realized that we make mountains out of molehills.
Oh yeah.
To an addict, everything is just so fucking dramatic and holy shit, it's really not that big a deal. These days, kind of living that. Actually, the words of my stepfather, if it's not life threatening, fucking let it go. My mother used to say, "Don't sweat the small stuff," and it's all small stuff.
Yeah.
That's true. I guess unless it's life threatening, technically doesn't even matter. But regardless, dude, I really appreciate you doing this. Coming out for the podcast. I know you're fucking busy and engrossed with stardom.
Thanks, man. No, I appreciate you, dude. This is dope. This is so fun.
I think we are about out of time, correct?
Yeah.
Good spot to close on. Well, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Broken Crayons Show here at Interstate. Like, comment, share, help spread the word so these voices can be heard. Thank you, Zack. Really appreciate this.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Ready for a break?
Yeah.